Hey everyone, and welcome back to BMX News, a weekly BMX news show where I talk about everything that happened in the previous week within the world of BMX that I think you guys might care about. That being said, the first two things that I have to talk about this week are things that I've already talked about in previous BMX news videos, but now they are official. The first of those is that the S&M mystery rider that I announced a couple weeks ago is officially Ryan Biz Jordan, and this comes with a welcome video to S&M. It's actually really good. It's entertaining because they got their nice little skits and fun things in the video where Chris Moeller is counting money at the beginning, and then they go through a sponsor me tape thing, and just you have to watch it to see what I'm talking about. But then the riding, it's Biz. It's really good. I would have loved to see some dirt in there. I really hope we can see Biz riding some dirt soon because they showed an old clip of him riding dirt. It was really cool. But with that, I definitely think you guys will enjoy this video. And then Devin Smiley is officially off of Eclat, and now he is 100% all in with Fly Bikes. I talked about this previously. Now it's official, so we can say for sure that both of these things are real. And I'm kind of liking this whole bite-sized BMX news thing where I talked about Biz and I talked about Devin in a full one, but I like the concept of talking about these things as they happen and then talking about them again whenever they're confirmed, or eventually there's going to be one that's refuted. But after that, we've got the final results of Battle of the Brands from Source BMX, and the winner of it is, first of all, Sabrosa got 4th, Colt got 3rd, Fiend got 2nd, and BSD, of course, got 1st. We all saw their video. We all knew that they deserved it. And then Fiend's challenge video absolutely earned them the 2nd place spot. So I really hope the Battle of the Brands happens again in the future, maybe even in the same spot with some of the same challenges being at the same spot so that it's possible that teams will run into each other. Either way though, I just hope that they keep it going and keep improving it at the same time. After that, the last highlight for the week is that BMX The Game put out a Halloween update with more than just Halloween themed content. They did improve a few more things past their major updates. So we've got updates coming weekly at this point. And if you join their Discord server, you can see that they're almost in constant contact with people and letting people know that there's updates out there and available. And I'm just psyched to see that they're continuing to improve this game so much after so many years of just nothing. It's like a light switch has been turned on. They know they've got issues. They're improving on them. A few of them that are included in this Halloween update are that it literally says here that they've made a lot of improvements to physics, the longed for rollback, in the first iteration of the can, as well as fixing absorption on drops and a removed delay on impact, as well as removing the feeling of slow-mo. I hope that that is the lag or the input lag. If you've played the game and you've seen these improvements and you've done the Halloween update, let me know in the comments down below how much better it actually is. And if the real old potato is in here, let me know, dude, in the comments down below, because I'm curious and I haven't had a chance to play it at all since the very first iteration that we could play. And that brings us into the videos from this week. The first one that I want to talk about is the main video that I want to talk about this week, and it's definitely one that I think all of you should check out. And that is Dan Conway's video that came out for GT called Sick Mother Effer. You see it right here. But between the song and the riding, this video is super fast paced, and I absolutely love, and I wanted to make sure I hit on this, that even though Dan Conway is doing so much crazy stuff in the streets on rails and gaps and everything that he does, he also doesn't neglect putting in the skate park clips where he's doing a back rail foofanu or foofing a really steep big corner, or doing a super tech 270 over double peg over fakie on a quarter pipe setup. I just love that he uses his brakes and does his tech stuff and does all of the crazy stuff in the streets that he does. And there is quite a lot, trick after trick, hammer after hammer, fast paced with the song, and this video is just really enjoyable to watch. And I definitely think that anyone who's watching this BMX news video right now will enjoy this video from Dan Conway and GT. After that, we've got a few more videos that I thought were worth mentioning, but I didn't want to talk in depth about. We've got one from Fly Bikes called Encore, and it's with Semcock. Then we've got Drop In with the Leaper Bros for Drop In Coffee. Then we've got a video from Dig and their Dig Locals series with Wheelies Man. And this one has a cool concept behind it I do want to mention real quick. So this guy is a co-owner of La Cribs Bike Shop, and he has been for over 8 years. so it's hard to get out and ride being at a bike shop and be so busy. And it says with everything going on with COVID, they had a tight schedule, so it allowed him to get out and ride more and make this video. And I just thought that was pretty cool, and I definitely wanted to make sure that I shared it with you guys. And if you do want to check out this or anything that I've talked about or will talk about, it's all in the description below in the order that I talk about it. And then we had 2 Nora Cup videos come out from Our BMX, one for the Transition Rider of the Year, Corey Walsh, and one for the Trail Rider of the Year, Maddie Aquazap. And these videos are basically a bunch of people who voted for Nora Cup, saying why they voted for this person, why they deserve to have won, and congratulating them, along with some riding from that person. And then at the end of each one of them, they've got the person being surprised with the Nora Cup somehow. With Corey Walsh's, it was cool. They had the trophy in a backpack and somebody asked him to get a battery out of it. He opened it up, there it was, and it was a cool little reveal. For Maddie's, they put it underneath a wheelbarrow at the trails and tried to make it look as inconspicuous as possible, but it seemed like, at least I got the impression, that he knew something else was up. And it was just really cool to see these videos, and I'm glad that they put them together and that the guys at Our BMX had the forethought to do something like this, because this definitely took some planning to make happen, and I'm excited to see the rest of them for the rest of the Nora Cup winners. And that brings us to the products from this week. The first thing I want to talk about here is from the bite-sized news video that I had previously this week on the cinema projector stem. If you don't know anything of what I'm talking about, just go to the description below and check out the video that I posted previously talking about this thing. There was a whole bunch of internet commotion going on about it, which I was just interrupted by the first hail or snow, I guess you could say, of the year. Anyways, there was a whole bunch of internet commotion about this thing online this past week, and if you watch that video, I talk about all of it, my thoughts behind it, and I really don't want to just repeat myself, so that's where I'm going to leave that one. And now we can talk about the Kink Crosscut frame that was just released this past week. So what Kink has to say about this frame on their website is that this frame is the definition of a new school modern geometry build. So the geometry for that is at the link in the description below if you want to check it out. There's a couple different things that stood out to me though. One, the fact that this frame is built intentionally to fit 25 or 28 tooth sprockets. I know some frames, if your sprocket's too far in, if you have a 28 tooth, without enough spacers, it will hit the frame. It looks like this one is made to not have that happen. And then the fact that it will fit up to 2.55 size tires. I don't even know if anyone makes tires that big right now. If so, let me know in the comments down below. It might be a sign that 2.55 tires are coming in BMX, probably from Kink if they're making a frame to fit them, or they're just trying to future-proof it in case tires do end up getting that big. It's kind of interesting to see, and I'm curious to see what happens moving forward with tires and if they really do get to 2.55. I thought 2.4 looked really big. I can't imagine 2.55 tires. And if it exists, somebody let me know so I can look it up and check them out. Then we got a couple interview things to talk about this week. We've got the Corey Nastasio Unclicked podcast, which I listened to the entire thing of. It's over 2 hours long, but it is entertaining all the way through. If you've ever heard Corey Nastasio talk, you know that he's a very charismatic person, and you can just listen to him talk about things and tell stories for hours. And that is exactly what this podcast is, and it's really, it's a great listen, honestly. And if you haven't checked it out yet, do yourself a favor and at least listen to the first 10 minutes. Then after that, we've got a video with Daniel Dares watching his 2004 Sponsor Me tape that originally got him onto the Albies team. He goes through the whole video and kind of explains things and talks about it, and I genuinely enjoy this one. I really hope that some of these long-standing pros will do the same thing and watch their original Sponsor Me tapes or videos from way back in the day, videos that we may have never even seen. I know I have never seen that video of Daniel Dares, and watching it alone just to see his riding back then was really interesting, and I think it would be so cool to see more of this from people. Maybe even like Jamie Bestwick's first ever video, if he has one, if he ever made one. Something like that. Can you imagine? If not, just to see the progression from where people were then to where they are now. Because if you watch Daniel Dare's Sponsor Me tape from 2004, you can see that his riding level now is like astronomically higher. I'm not saying he was bad back then. He was definitely progressive and doing things that not very many other people were doing. but his riding now is just faster, smoother. He seems to be going higher and doing things a bit more dialed. Obviously 2004 was a different time, but what I'm saying is I enjoyed this video and I think you will too. And if you've already watched it, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, as well as your thoughts on anything else that I've talked about today. It was kind of a light week in BMX news, so I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on anything that I talked about. Let me know what you think of bite-sized BMX news videos, and I will keep doing them. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button while you're down there, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for another video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.